Okay, welcome back. And my guest is Mr. Sonny Adenuga. He's a IT expert. He's largely based abroad, but he's always home in pursuit of the objectives of his party because of our Tomorrow, BOOT. Party. Mr. Adenuga is an IT expert. He's national chairman of BOOT and indeed the presidential candidate. Once again, we're happy to have you.
Thank you, sir.
Just before we went on break, we were talking about the matter of issues-based politics and all of that. But, oh, I beg your pardon. I have on the line Emmanuel from Otukpo. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Thank you for calling in. Good morning.
I greet your guests in the studio.
Sure.
Good morning. How is Otukpo today?
This topic is very instructive. But is there any big deal if a candidate does not sign the peace accord? I don't think it's binding. It's when you accept to go and sign. I don't believe that any of them coming to election will plan for a revolt or violence. He wants to win. Tinubu will not be planning for any revolt or violence. It's just that maybe he doesn't have the time, or there is some kind of inconveniences in his way. That's why he hasn't come. And all the others that did not attend. So we should not take them to the cross for not being there. Thank God his deputy was there. So, and I want to ask the guest in the studio, is this peace accord mandatory? Is it in the Constitution?
Well, sorry, sir. If I were to jump in, I think you and I know that no, it is not. This is an initiative, you know, a sort of a public service.
Okay.
It's a public service.
Well, my own, I feel, this is a personal thought, I feel if a peace accord like this should happen, the chairman of INEC is the right person to be there.
Okay.
So, yes, what's the big deal with Abdulsalami coming in there? We are not in military government again. Let the chairman of INEC take control and do the proper thing. Please, we are not in their hands.
You know, we're just saying it's a private initiative. It is the initiative of former president, former head of state Abdulsalami Abubakar, who is a civilian now. It's his contribution, just like Yakubu Gowon, you know, a number of those people. They're private citizens now, and they are contributing to, you know, the development of the Nigerian space. I guess maybe you might want to consider it in that light. Not that we are continuing military, but, you know, thank you very much, Emmanuel, calling in from Otukpo. Now, I wanted to go because what Mr. George brought up calling in from Ikeja was important. We were talking about issues-based politics. We were talking about false news and misinformation. Now, he brought up the matter of the youth and their exuberance, and you heard it. You heard it all. You had also said that, look, all of this going on, it's up to the leaders of the parties, the aspirants themselves, the candidates themselves, to show by example what is expected, if I understood you right.
Yeah,
you know.
it is true that we need to show that. And I can tell you clearly, in our own party, the BOOT party, I will be very sad. We've not seen violence. Even we've had very heavy contest election at the party level, but it has never been violent. And we feel strongly that it's because of the transparency we bring into it. But what I can tell those who may be not happy with the event that have happened is that we can beg our elders to say that, look, you need to be patient with us, young people as well, because this is not the country we all dream of. So sometimes people reflect, they react the way they react because they wanted a better nation. So I will apologize that we should not be so discouraged about the young people of the future. But there's one point Mr. George made,
yes,
and this is an opportunity to be able to address that. He talked about resources being wasted. It's not true. Many people, just yesterday I was in a meeting, one of the meetings I came for in Lagos that couldn't make me attend the peace accord. And you will see educated Nigerians ignorantly thinking that political parties are funded. Please, parties are not funded. It is Sunday Adenuga and his National Working Committee hard-earned money, resources that we used to develop the boot party.
Okay.
INEC does not give any political party 1 naira or 1 kobo.
Well, it's
so we
important you
need
say
to
that
make
because
that clear.
it's a very important point that you make clear. So we might even return to it, but I don't want to keep Owen. Owen has called in from Aba. I don't want to keep him waiting. Good morning, Owen.
Hello.
Hello, Owen. Good morning.
Good morning to you.
Okay, you're on air now. Please go ahead.
Hello.
Owen, you're on air right
Yeah.
now. Please go ahead.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah. Thank you. Good morning, sir. Good morning to the IT guy in the studio, too.
Good morning. Go on.
Carry on, please.
Okay. Sorry. The previous caller, like the second previous caller. Yes. Can you hear me, sir?
We can hear you.
Okay. The other caller was trying to marginalize youth. He was trying to tell us about the age. That so already did this and so already did that.
Okay. Okay, yeah, that goes back to Mr. George, who called in from Ikeja in Lagos.
So
Yes, he was commenting on Mr. Showore's, conduct at the event
now,
yesterday.
If you accept the country generally has been in the hands of the elders for a very long time, and they've dealt with us mercilessly. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, we can hear you. You just said that the country has been in the hands of the elders for a long while.
Yes.
And then continue the thought. Continue the thought.
And they've been tormenting us like they've been tormenting us. They don't say the truth. They don't do things the way it should be. They come out on airspace and they lie.
Okay.
So all we're trying to do is let it go back to the youth. So let's find a good balance.
Okay. Are you
Did not
speaking
show
as a political party member yourself or just as an interested Nigerian? I think Owen calling in from Aba has gone. But without spending too much time on it, I think Owen was, not taking kindly to anybody seeing Mr. Showore's conduct yesterday as anything out of the ordinary. Maybe just to phrase it as carefully as that, that seems to be what Mr. Owen wanted to put out there, that it's like everybody's entitled to his own opinion, is what he was saying.
People are entitled to their own opinion. Like I rightly said, the elders should be patient because the country we have today, I know for myself, if Nigeria is probably what I want it to be, I will probably not be in politics. I can tell you that.
Okay.
And I know that quite young people out there also. I'm young. If you look at the average age of the political, the presidential candidate of each of the parties, that is the president and the vice president, the Boot party has the younger. In fact, our vice presidential candidate is 36 years old.
Indeed. And
I'm less than 50.
I was going to say, I can't see a single white hair.
No,
so I was going to ask, if you don't mind, how old are you, sir?
Yes, I'm 48.
You are 48?
Yes. So,
okay, there you go. Because... But you see, people sometimes remember that you are 48 and you're aspiring. The founding fathers were much younger than that in their time.
That's true.
And, I have Tony on the line. Tony, good morning. Good morning, Tony.
Yeah, good morning, my brother. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
This is Bob calling from Jos. First of all, before I come into your program, are you hearing me?
We can hear you.
Before I come into your program, let me first of all address this issue of youth not trying to respect elders. That kind of a thing is not found in Nigeria. You understand me? That attitude is not found in Nigeria. And also, it's against our religious Bible of a thing. If you are a Christian, you have to respect elders so that your age will be prolonged. Your years of age will be prolonged. If you despise elders, it's a problem. So I don't know where he has that attitude. You understand me? If he's really trained from a home that is known as a Yoruba land, he has to respect that. Whoever that person belongs to, either is even a Igbo man, if he's older than you, you give him his respect. That's what is expected from a young man like him. You understand me? And this is the man who said he wants to contest for number one citizen of this country, number one position of this country. Is that how it's been done?
All right.
Even we still have people respect our president when he went to overseas. This butter, Joshua was respected to our president. Our president, he says he's a Yoruba man. He's an Hausa man.
Okay, and all of this, sorry, sir, I beg your pardon, sir. And all of this fits into our theme today, which is focusing on peaceful and credible elections. I mean, it's a whole process, and that, you could argue, was a part of the process, and if you want to call it that, the upheaval there, well, the way it was reacted to and contained, maybe you would say, would you say you approve of that, that it didn't scatter anything, people just noticed and continued, so there's a sense in which perhaps it was isolated. So I guess all of this feels it was isolated in context, and this sort of plays into our conversation today on peaceful, credible elections and what can be done, what should be done to arrive there. Perhaps there was an example of that in the process of yesterday. Okay, I believe that gentleman has gone.
Yeah, issue politics.
Yes. So we want to keep it on the issue, the focus on peaceful and credible elections. And we've spoken about some of the pitfalls, some of the dangers. You've addressed the issue of social media being what it is. Then, the one we didn't have time to sort of air a bit was the issue that I think it was Mohammed who called it in, polls. And where people get their stuff from. And you were making the point that, look, those polls are self-regulating, if you look at it from that point of view, along the lines of, you do bad polls that don't have any semblance whatsoever, you yourself wrecked your own credibility. Nobody's going to take you seriously anymore. And I think I made the comment that Gallup polls, it's well known, and it usually is quite close. In fact, reporters tend to, especially in the U.S., reporters tend to depend on it, and we'll be showing you what the Gallup polls are saying.
Yeah, because
we're a long way away from there.
Yeah, because there are a lot of statistical tools. If
Yes.
you have the right data that can make you come to that conclusion about, look, this is the way things are going to be. So, but because I don't know the team who actually put these polls together, so we wouldn't have known the type of tools
I'm going to come back and ask you about what you think about statistical projections in our society here. There are a number of those companies, they say it's all based on statistics, and people begin to work with statistics. I see you're smiling. We're going to come back to that. Good morning, Ada in Jos.
Hello.
Good morning, Ada.
Mr. Ayore. I'm good. I'm Ada calling from Jos Plateau State. Good morning to Mr. Sonny Adenuga.
Good morning, Ada.
Thank you. Yes, Boot Party. That's a good one.
Thank you.
I commend your courage to want to vie for presidency. It's not about winning. Even if you don't win, you keep on trying. One day it will be your turn in the Nigerian language. Let me say something about this peace accord thing. It's a welcome development. It has been there for some time. It's just that we have not been doing it before the campaigns. But if you ask me, Mr. Ayore, the problem we have is that we have weak institutions. The focus should be on the Electoral Act to implement it to the letter. If you implement it to the letter, we won't have these issues. You know, no matter when you just go and sign it, and then people violate the rules of the game, and nobody is punished, it will continue. That is the problem. Then the idea of some people, getting annoyed that people are saying that why the social person did not come personally. Nigerians like playing to the gallery, you know. So when you have people who are supposed to be in the contest and they are invited for certain events, and you expect them to be there, under normal circumstances, they are there. It's not there. It gives room for all this speculation. The problem with Nigeria is that economic is the truth. So what? Tell you this again, it's there. You understand? For the media to start taking them, bringing out of their mouth.
Yeah.
That's why the person is. The problem we're having.
I'm afraid you're breaking up a bit, Ada. But thank you very much for calling, because we did get the substance of what you were saying. You're breaking up a bit, and now that Ada has returned to it, and yesterday a lot of heavy weather was made of Asiwaju not being in attendance, and but his running mate was there. We've established that it's not a law; it's a private objectives. And, as a matter of fact, he isn't the only one who wasn't there. You weren't there, for instance, and we didn't see any headlines saying that. We didn't see any headlines saying that Sonny Adenuga missing at Accord signing thing. But it's factoring into what we're talking about. This whole idea of peace. I would say that, subject to, of course, what you think, I would say, as Ada said, that, look, a lot of work has been done by INEC. You yourself have said as much. And Ada was saying that if everybody kept the letter and the spirit of all of those provisions, then there wouldn't even be any need for this peace accord. But it's maybe to make assurance doubly sure. Yeah, that's why the man is bringing this in as sort of, look, it's a moral thing. Just append your signature to say that you are committed to the ideals of this body.
The question we should even ask ourselves is that, and I always share other sentiment here, if I'm being honest, is that what really is necessary? You talked about it on Kuyori when we started. We've spent almost an hour now, and no issue being discussed. And is what happened all over the country where Nigerians gather. And what even saddens me personally is the fact that you even see presidential candidates talking about, they use the opportunity they have instead of talking about issues. And instead, it's about abusing one another. For me personally, I do not work in an environment of chaos. I love order. I love organization. And talking about issue-based politics, if you pick an example about insecurity we have in the country, the economic situation, these are the things we should be brainstorming our head on. I will give you a very classic example. One of the times I returned to the country, I was shocked that I no longer see people who sell recharge card on our street. How can I buy a recharge card? They said, no, now you have to buy through your phone. And this is what disturbs me. You can't run a nation without paying attention to both macro and microeconomics. For example, what we need to do in that regard is that, please, maybe if you want to buy a recharge card on your phone, it should be limited to about, if you are buying from 1,000, so that those people still sell on the road. They can still sell and make small kobo. But as it is today, the one on my street in Abuja, they've disappeared. They no longer have means of making money.
But back in the UK, do people sell
we don't have we don't even buy recharge card.
This is what Nigeria is moving towards.
Yeah, but again, you also look at the people also you are affecting. You remove Okada rider, forgetting that you cannot cater only for those who are educated like Sunday Adenuga or Uncle Yori. The society is not made up like that. We have various types of people in the society, and we have to take care of them.
Okay, one moment, please, while I bring Mohammed on. He's been waiting for a while. Mohammed in Port Harcourt. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Thank you for calling in. Good morning.
Good morning to your guests at the studio. Studio.
Good morning, Mohammed.
So, thank you very much. I just want to add my voice to this topic of today.
Sure, go ahead.
The fact is, the peace accord signed yesterday is just a kind of, I think it's to me a kind of like psychological. In a situation where people watch it, you see your supporter, the candidate you are supporting is signed such a thing. It is as he being your leader, he has signed. So maybe if you are a well-brought up child, my leader has signed for peace, so I will not engage in any kind of political toggery. But I think beyond that, it won't change anything. Because if you carry somebody who is supporting, for example, candidate A, how will it affect the person who go there and sign that, he's doing it? So the thing is, let us have enough process that will check for crisis in political crisis. So I want to touch on Mr. George call in respect of Mr. Showore's conduct yesterday. So the fact is that sometimes let us use people's frustration for our own fun. If you ask me, if you go back to the 60s, youth were the leaders of Nigeria at that time. Please, if we go back to that time, we see the kind of energy they exhibited in destroying one another, killings that took place that time. Can we now say that then that behavior that time is something that is functional? It's a dysfunctional function. So somebody who has no good upbringing, he will not have it even if he's old. somebody who has bad upbringing, he will exhibit it
Well,
throughout.
you know, let's not comment personally, if you understand me, on any of these public figures. But I think we all get your drift. It wouldn't be fair, you know, for you to be making those directly personal comments, and such people are not here to speak for themselves. But thank you very much for calling in. You know, we really appreciate your call. So now, in wrapping it up, because it always happens when we're around here and having this interesting conversation, your time runs out on us. Are there some things you wanted that we shouldn't miss in terms of this whole drive for peaceful, credible elections? You've highlighted a lack of desperation, do or die. You've highlighted that.
For us, it's absolute no violence. And like everybody agreed, probably that point on everything everyone have said is about the process, and that's what we have always done as a political party. What I also want to say is that probably most of the discussions that are happening in the political space, maybe those in your positions and in other positions out there, should make sure that every discussion should be about issue-based.
Okay.
Let's put it on issue.
Let's
So
keep
that,
it on
that
the
takes
straight
out,
and narrow.
Yeah, so that takes out all those sentiments and having to attack one another.
Because those are the things that will develop in our
That's what
country.
matters.
Yes.
Anyway, how are you going to solve insecurity? How are you going to solve the economic situation that we're in? How are you going to deal with the
oil
Okada
theft,
rider, banditry, or call it anything?
security.
These are things.
Exactly.
It requires a lot of thinking. It requires a lot of brain manpower to be able to sit down and factor out all of this. Look at the data you have collected all over the country. You talk about the data that are being shared, and people talking about opinion polls and all the rest. But I have a different view about some of these opinion polls, because our data is based on data we have collected from members and our political activities in the course of the 3 years that we have been registered as a political party. People will always have a different opinion. But however, we cannot sit here and say, oh, a particular opinion is not correct, because we do not know how they came up with that particular conclusion. So it also is clearly up to their own credibility, as I've said before.
We're going to have to leave this till another time, Sonny, but I want to thank you very much for taking the time to come into our studio this morning. Mr. Sonny Adenuga there, chairman, national chairman, and presidential candidate of Because of Our Tomorrow Boot Party. Thank you very much for coming on the program.
Thank you, sir.